All right, Senator, on your witness slips, you have 78 proponents, all in appearance only, it looks like. So I think you're, Michael, you'll need to file a witness slip, please. And of your opponents, you have 815 opponents. I believe there's, and then Molly is online to give testimony on that. And then 0 no position. Senator, please present your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, members of the committee. I think we can all agree that patients' basic health information should be private, plain and simple. That you should not fear that your personal health data could be used against you. So House Bill 4834 amends the Illinois Controlled Substance Act. It provides that the prescription monitoring program shall not apply to testosterone, mifepristone, misoprostol, and GnRH analogs or estrogen. The bill also provides that the Department of Human Services shall purge from the records of the prescription monitoring program all existing information concerning the prescribing or dispensing of testosterone, including any such information contained in the central repository or database on or before January 1, 2027, and shall ensure that no further records concerning the prescribing and dispensing of testosterone are created or maintained by the prescription monitoring program. Lastly, it provides that the department shall update and adopt rules consistent with the provision no later than January 1st, 2027. And thank you, Madam Chair. You mentioned the proponents and opponents. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Mike Zeri is here to just answer questions as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And Michael, obviously, fill out a slip. I believe we have an opponent online, Molly Rumley. Molly, go ahead and unmute and give your testimony.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Chair Castro and members of the committee for allowing me to be here remotely today. I am representing Illinois Right to Life Action in opposition to House Bill 4834. Illinois Right to Life Action is concerned because this bill specifically removes abortion drugs from the prescription monitoring program. We believe that this is dangerous because many women have been harmed by mifepristone, having had a serious adverse reaction within 45 days of taking it. This is true for nearly 11% of women who use it. If a drug has been shown to cause harm to the people taking it, it stands to reason that doctors should have that information readily available to them so that they can provide informed consent to their patients before they make their final decision. This bill will make it harder for doctors to know the true risks to their patients when prescribing. Of course, as the pro-life representative, I would also be remiss if I did not mention the harm that occurs to the unborn child 100% of the time when this drug is administered, since the purpose is to cause the death of the innocent human life in the womb. Thank you for your time today, and again, I really do appreciate the accommodation.
Thank you. Any discussion? Senator Resum.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I have a question for the sponsor, please. Sure, thank you. And Molly alluded to it just a little bit. First of all, can you explain what the prescription monitoring program is and why it was set up?
Mike Zeri, Planned Parenthood Illinois Action, and I, just to clarify, I did submit a witness slip, but I think I might have hit record of appearance only. I will go back and fix that for oral. So the prescription monitoring program was set up historically to curb opioid abuse. When it was created, it was tracking prescriptions for Schedule II drugs, which include opioids. So tracking opioid misuse and diversion. Over time, other schedules were added to it, including Schedule III. Testosterone is a Schedule III controlled substance. However, unlike opioids, for which the PMP, the Prescription Monitoring Program, was created, Testosterone does not have the same profile risk, and under the supervision of a physician with a proper prescription, it is safe. It is safe and does not have the risk profile that, for instance, an opioid does.
Thank you. So it's fair to say, though, that the doctors use the prescription monitoring program to see what medicine you're on and any adverse reaction when you combine the prescriptions. So I'm just going to go through a couple of examples to see then what a doctor would do in this case, and if you feel that it would be harmful to a patient not knowing this information or not. So if a patient's on blood thinner and their doctor prescribes testosterone, these two drugs together can cause dangerous bleeding. So right now, the prescription monitoring program helps catch this. So the doctors know what prescription they're on before he prescribes another, and would also know the interaction between all the medication that the patient's on, thus keeping the patient safe. So if the bill passes and testosterone is no longer tracked, how does anyone know that the patient's on both drugs at the same time?
I would respond that medical organizations are aware of this bill. We reached out to them early in the process in the House, even before the bill was introduced. They have shared no concerns with us. We reached out to the State Medical Society. They have shared no concerns with us. In fact, I do want to highlight that one of the witness slips today is from an organization called the Committee of Interns and Residents, which represents 40,000 resident physicians and fellows, and they support this bill. So if the medical community had that concern, I believe they would have shared that with Senator Johnson and Representative Cassidy. I would also argue that when the prescription monitoring program was first developed, we didn't have the wide use of electronic health records. And since between 2011 and 2021, for example, according to federal data, the use of electronic health records increased from about 30% of physicians using them to about 78% of physicians using electronic health records. So we know, for instance, when I go to the doctor and I go to different doctors, they know what my prescriptions are because of the wide use of electronic health records. But again, I just point out that medical organizations are aware of this bill and they have shared no concerns with us.
Thank you.
And hi, Senator, I just want to add too that also pharmacies automatically check for drug interactions as well. So that's probably why they don't have the concerns.
Okay, so the pharmacies would be able to know all of the medicine, even if this medicine's pulled out of the prescription monitoring program?
No,
That the patient would be on?
No, I'm sorry if I implied that, but when your doctor prescribed medication, and when they are certain medications, I do know the pharmacists, they do check that.
How do they check that, though? That's the intersection I'm trying to figure out of the medicine, the prescriptions that the patients are currently on, with now you're pulling out the prescriptions that no longer will be listed within the prescription monitoring program. So how will the doctors know how all of the medicine will interact if potentially they don't know about the medicine you're talking about, testosterone being pulled out?
Again, I point back to the wider proliferation now of electronic health records than when the PMP was first created. So when I go to the doctor, various doctors, different health centers, different clinics, not even the same practice, they know what my prescriptions are. They know what a doctor has prescribed for me. So that information is more readily available in a safer and secure way for those patients.
So, and thank you for that. I would just say, and yes, the electronic health records there are more and more systems that are using electronic health records, but it's not 100%. There are still patients that are coming into practices that are taking the clipboard and asked to write down what medicine they have, and statistics show that's where the majority of mistakes, many medical errors happen because they can't remember, so they may forget to put it down. They may not have electronic records, so I would look at a prescription monitoring program as kind of a safeguard to let the physicians know that they're on all of these medicines so you don't have a negative outcome. And I'll give you one more example if you don't mind, and then I'll pass it back, Madam Chairwoman. So diabetic patients who are also prescribed testosterone can see their blood sugar levels change dramatically, which means their insulin dose may need to be adjusted. So if testosterone is no longer in the prescription monitoring program, how does a doctor manage their diabetes even no testosterone has been prescribed before something goes wrong? So, I mean, there's several instances that we could go through here, but I don't want to berate it. I understand what you're trying to do. I do feel, though, that it's creating a liability between the patient and the doctor the patient who may not be in the healthcare system, who may not have all of their information on the electronic healthcare record, to transmit and allow the doctor to make a decision that's in the best for the safety of the patient. I think that there's a gap there.
I appreciate that, Senator, and I would just again point out that the medical organizations who very much understand liability issues have raised no such concerns with this bill. Thank you.
Any further discussion? All right, seeing none. Senator Murphy moves that we do pass House Bill 4834. Mr. Clerk, please take the roll.
Senator Tracy, Senator Resin, Senator Anderson, Wiederkehren, Senator Murphy, Senator Lightfoot, Senator Hunter, Senator Holmes, Senator Harris, President Harmon, Senator Aquino, Senator Cunningham, Chair Castro.
With 9 voting yea, 4 voting nay, 0 voting present, your bill shall be so reported.
Thank you.